task teams, by their very nature, are task and time specific, and it can't be a permanent, and there's no, and that no organization can ever eliminate the reliance on task teams. Right? That was your oral evidence yesterday. But in your term of office as a minister, you were chairing this IMC. Were you ever briefed about the 2019 work study that was done about task teams? Do you know about the 2019 work study that was done on task teams? Because the minister relied heavily on this, and he used this as one of the reasons for disbanding the PKTT.
I don't know what this work study. What I know is organogram.
It was submitted to us. So during your period, you've never seen the 2019 work study report?
It was organogram, rather than the work study.
Okay. Well, I guess if we have that in the, okay, we can follow up on that. So you don't know about the work, you understand the onogram, not this work study report. And okay, let's say that if we are talking about the onogram, why wasn't that implemented? Because this is what the minister is saying, that he used it, and he relied heavily on that outside of Auntie Mary's letters of complaints, etc. So the work study report, he went on quite significantly about it. So what was your understanding about, but you're saying it's not a work study report, you're saying it's an onogram, so that might have fallen part, Minister, of the work study report.
Maybe one problem you raised initially, Honorable Member, of the lifespan of national commissioners in the South African police. They are responsible for development of the organogram. And then they concur or they show it to the minister and all that. For the very fact that they stay this short, as they develop it, you find that he or she goes without finishing it. But there'll be always one where they continue to implement as they are there. But maybe, as you say, after 5 years, no national commission has finished the term. So all of them will leave the half-cooked work going forward. Even myself, I remember that one was showed by Cele, but Masimula came and you reorganize it. Remember what the Constitution says. Theirs is to organize, to command, and all that kind of thing. So they have the right to put it as the way they do. I guess this thing of commissioners not staying too long is one of the problems that makes the police not to fly smoothly, not to be consistent and do what they're supposed to do. So they come and go too soon before they finish their work. I think that is one of the problems, that it was not signed, and signed 2025, yes, but it doesn't mean that there was no working document before that. The previous one that would be signed, they'd be working on it.
So the work study having been done or commissioned in 2019, having it implemented in the end of December 2024, do you think that was sound?
Do you think it was sound?
Yeah, like a sound decision to use that as a reason.
Well, December 2024, how long was the minister in the office then? 6 months? Almost 6 months. I sometimes take some time to understand and learn these things. Honorable Member, South African Police Service is a very complicated environment. It would help for any one of us to give a little bit of time to understand members there. But I heard the minister that he has consulted with many people and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how deep has it done that kind of consultation? But for me, that would be a little bit short to come there, you find this 2019 thing, and you don't give yourself enough time. 6 months for me would have been too short.
The Minister Mkhwanazi also testified that parts of the handover when you left office as the Minister of Police, that the handover did not include a briefing on the PKTT. Is that true? Did you have a handover? Or did
We
you
did
just
have
go,
it. I prepared quite a thick document for handover. We sat down 2 hours, we discussed.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Only?
Yeah. Actually, I was given an hour in the office. And then I was given an hour.
And there was no engagement after that 1 hour, 2 hours in this
2
case?
hours. The engagement that could have happened is when I've left it to you and said, Minister, my phone away because there are many other things that we might have to share. Unfortunately, that phone never came. And I guess even the question of this PKTT would have better discussed if that phone did come. But I can't remember, Honourable Member, the issues that we discussed that were in the document.
In those 2
Honorable
hours?
Matthys, let's take Honorable Novalo.
I thought you were stopping me. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. No, Chair, on the question that Honorable Matthys has asked a short while ago about the letter, the study that was signed after the letter was issued, I'm just interested on the clarity of the Minister on the procedural aspect. That, Minister, is it correct, General, is it correct to sign or to issue a directive on the basis of a letter which we have not signed as yet? Because the justification by the Minister is that the reason why we disbanded this on the 31st of December is because we signed a study, or the Commissioner signed a study with a new organogram in May 2025. So the new organogram was signed after the letter was issued. Now, was it procedurally correct? I'm just interested on that part. Thank you.
The study was signed in May, and the 31st letter
Yes, was
was
disbanded.
going to be accommodated on the study that does not exist.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't give logic because the study was not existing. So why do you sign the letter to fit on the structure that is not existing? So I don't think it was correct.
Thank you so much. You may proceed, Honorable Matthys.
Just on clarity, when you met Mkhwanazi in December at the very posh Beverly Hills hotel in Umhlanga, did he tell you also, I just didn't get proper clarity on that, did he tell you that the PKTT was going to be disbanded?
No.
Okay. So the first time you heard about it was with the rest of us, the New Year's Eve, well, when it was circulated in the media on the 2nd of January?
Yes.
Okay. You also indicated yesterday, and maybe I should also just get clarity on this, that you saw messages on his phone, Kat's phone, from the minister. Am I correct?
Yes, those messages that were either from Kat coming, they were sent to my phone. So I read them in my phone coming from Kat to say this is what he has received from the minister.
Okay, I thought yesterday you were saying that you saw evidence on Kat's phone that the minister and him were engaging. That's not so.
No, it was on Kat's phone, but it was sent to my phone.
And then how did you verify that those messages were indeed from Minister Mkhwanazi?
Well, I was told that were from Minister Mkhwanazi by a CAT, but verification, it was not
okay.
done.
Did you engage your comrade? Because you refer to him as your comrade. I mean, you're both long-serving members, senior members for that in the ANC. Because you meet this person, minister, for the first time, and he's telling you these things about the minister and financing his campaign. Did you engage your comrade about that? Because who else could he be telling? And Minister Mkhwanazi, whether you like it or not, is your comrade. You don't know Kat.
Well, I don't regard him as a comrade. He is a comrade.
You don't what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
You said I regard him as a comrade.
You said
no, I
that.
don't regard him as a comrade. He is a comrade.
Okay.
I did say, honorable member, that I did try to engage him to talk about things, including mayor and all that, somewhere in January, where I was not offered the opportunity to discuss the matters.
And then what was your intention? Because you said you wanted information from Kat many times and very animated at that minister. So what was your intention on using this information about Kat regarding Minister Mkhwanazi that superseded the fact that this Kat has told you that he signed, that he committed a criminal offense? He signed a sworn affidavit saying that police stole his Rolex watches and they didn't.
Well, the information started from there, but it was interesting that I was part of the discussions as they were talking about the project. So I wanted to hear what more was said about me going forward, working on the project that he was asked to fund. And as I've said, honorable member, that I would not have said no to information, especially when it involves me. I said, one of the discussions says, we'll work well so long we don't work with Cele and Zuma, but sometimes the document that was very old, it was sent as it was going to be used as a basis of arresting me and all that. So with such information, I would not have stayed far to understand what's going on, what is discussed about me.
So your intention on accessing this information was pretty much to protect yourself and also, to an extent, General Khumalo.
And understand what is happening and what is said about me, yes.
And what would you have done? Or what were you planning to do? Was it just a way on how you were going to maneuver or navigate?
Well, it would have been good to speak to the minister as my comrade about it. That has not happened, as I've made the fact that I did try, but I didn't win that battle. But also, it would be good to know what is planned about me, so that whatever way to defend myself is looked at, and any action to defend myself is taken.
You engaged Minister Ramaphosa at the ANC January 8th rally. Did you know whether Minister Mkhwanazi had discussed the disbandment with him when you when you spoke to the president?
I don't know if they discussed, with the exception of what I heard from Minister Mkhwanazi. I think he did say, after writing the letter, he briefed the president. I think that's a statement, that he briefed the president after I've written. For me, that's a correct one, that he briefed the president after has written the letter. To me, that can't be a consultation, which really would have been very wrong for him to do, to go and brief the president instead of consulting the president. But if they did speak before it happened, I don't know.
Okay.
The only information I have is this one.
Oh, okay. And then what you did not tell us, what was the president's reaction? I think that's very important. Did he just smile and nod?
When I spoke to the president to facilitate the meeting of either three of us or with him, he said he will look at it.
That's it. He wasn't surprised. He just said he was going to look at it, and then did he come back to you? Was that facilitated?
Well, Honorable Member, you are a top official of the EFF. So we are speaking at this stage when the rally is about to start. Really, even yourself as a DSG, yeah, the TSG, if I come that time, you might even say, come back the other time. So we're at this stage, everybody's singing and all. I see a small opportunity, I rush and said, please, can we happen this? And I go, I said, okay, I'll look at it. And that was that.
And it didn't happen.
It could be even, by the way, not again speaking on his behalf, it could even flash out of his head, looking at the situation and the place where he was set.
And then you didn't follow up with him since he had indicated to
No.
you, yeah, you'll look into it, you just left it?
No.
All right. Let's talk about, you spoke extensively about SAP's capacity and private security and both the taxi industry luring our highly trained SAPs and Defense Force, Special Task Force members to go and work with them. And primarily this is because of the poor working conditions and the low pay. Did you have these discussions or did you raise any of this when you were a minister in cabinet meetings? Because, I mean, this is the dire situation that we are in. So what did you do about it when you were a minister? Did you engage cabinet about it?
Honorable Member, that situation you see is not only dire for those special forces, it's dire for the whole organization.
Yeah, that's...
If you would have been fly and be on the wall, you would have heard how much irritating I was in cabinet about the police matters. Starting when Honorable Tito Mboweni was there, may his soul rest in peace, when he was a Minister of Finance. I even ventured on something funny when I said to him, can you allow the police not to pay, from certain level, not to pay the tax? Because their salary is terrible. Their salary is terrible, and their work is hard, the police. And then he said, what do we do with nurses? What do we do with teachers? I said, I'm not the minister of nurses. I'm not the minister of teachers. I'm a minister of police. If those ministers, they see it fit, they will come to the minister. And they just says, that won't happen. And it didn't happen. I said, okay, can we work on the numbers of the police? Honorable Member, again, in 2010, there were 50 million South Africans and 195,000 police in the Republic of South Africa. The target was to make 200 the next 2 years. And then when we came back, there were 187 with 62 million. Besides the specialized forces, the numbers themselves have dwindled. So we have to push very hard to work on those numbers. So those discussions were almost on the overall of the organization rather than specific. But when it comes to national commissioner, it would be specific, dealing with the units, including the specialized units.
So essentially, this is another fundamental failure of government of retaining our highly trained police and leaving them to the taxi industry and to private security. In other words, since you have engaged them as an irritant actually in cabinet and nothing has been changed.
Maybe we'll use different English. For me, it's a serious shortcoming that this actually needs to be fixed. We can't have such a situation of these members leaving. By the way, I spoke about the special task force and the special task force of the army. I did not talk about the NIU, which is part of that. But few weeks ago, I met in one meeting. I met the members of the CATS, and I asked, where is so and so is their commander? I'm told he has just gone to join the. So CATS, Honorable Member, their training is equal to the Special Task Force. Is one of the top kind of an elite, the CATS that are in the South African police. So it's continuing, bleeding these skills out of the police is continuing, and it needs to be arrested and arrested soon.
I don't think South Africans are going to agree with you on this one, Minister. This is not a shortcoming, it's a fundamental failure of government, and the reason why we feel very unsafe in the streets of South
And
Africa.
I'll not
But
oppose South Africans.
Yeah, don't.
I'll not.
Let's talk about just some border control issues. We were talking about, and you spoke also very passionately about the influx of drugs in South Africa, and this is largely due to our porous borders. We don't have enough scanners. Are you aware of that?
Well, I don't see Mom James. Oh, okay. She's here. I know how passionate she is when it comes to the drug issues, which South Africans should really be so. We are under siege, Honorable Member. South Africa is under siege when it comes to these drugs. We have been found as a lucrative market and transit. Let me give you a little bit of a story. In '94, I went for training in London. I was trained in one of the most elite institutions called Scotland Yard. I did my training there. That time I was with Brian. He was in the School of Economics. I was in the Civil College of Safety in London. We were told there, '94, that South Africa is going to be playground of gangsters and drugs. They said there were 3 reasons for that when we were told in Scotland Yard. There were 3 reasons for that. One is our aviation system that will expand to the whole world, so it would be easy. Secondly, is the strength of our currents. They don't mind to use our money. And thirdly, is a banking system that it was easy to move the money and all that. And it has happened exactly that way. That we are a new playground of drugs, both transit and both consumption. But consumption, unfortunately, they find the market on the poor little child, especially black child, that makes those that live in huge suburbs very much rich. Is one area where I will accept that I don't think that we have had enough pushback when it comes to the drug situation. So I think more work must be done on that matter. But also, Honorable Member, I would make a call that there is this document. I don't know if honorable members have this document. It's called Integrated Crime and Violence Prevention Strategy. Honorable Member James knows it. This document, the subheading says, a whole of government and whole of society approach to fight crime. I think it was signed by the cabinet in 2022, developed by the Department of Police. So it would be good to work on it because the drug issue starts with home. It starts with the society. It's the very society that kills our kids, selling them the drugs and all that. It would be good that all of us will work on that matter. But it's one area where I think even our court system are not very hard when it comes to dealing with the drug issues. There is this sad story of Umlife that is going around, of the judge and all that. I think, giving you my opinion, the way we are under siege, as the government, as the security apparatus, as the society, we're not doing well to protect ourselves, especially our kids, from this scourge.
The question was specifically asking about scanners at our borders. Do we have enough
Scanners.
that can scan drugs and human trafficking, etc.? Because
No,
you also served, there's a...
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't have.
So when you served as the National Commissioner and also as a minister on the, I think it's the Border Management Inter-Ministerial IMC.
It's PMA.
Yeah. And that's headed by the Minister of Home Affairs from what I understand. So were there discussions and was there a push that we get more scanners? Because surely this can't be a budget thing because it starts there at the borders. So what were the discussions? Why is Treasury not releasing money to get more scanners, from your understanding?
It was raised, not once, for many times, to find those scanners. But as you say, that treasurer will look at that, and the security cluster coming to it. It will help if we can get more scanners. But I can assure you, that would not stop the drugs coming. We'll have to have the extra method, but it will reduce it as it comes. Drastically, I'm not sure, because one big problem about this thing is the human nature, Honourable Member. It's a human nature. As you are sitting here, everybody asks the question about the Auditor General. Everybody asks the Auditor General, PCKI, and all that. You come here, you see the scope and all that. Drug lords and criminals have no Auditor General. They don't have Auditor General. They don't have a budget. They don't have a scope. So the budget of criminality always beats the budget of government. That's why it's important that security cluster is taken as one of the departments to make the country stable. And it is not so at the present moment.
Noted, Minister. So Treasury, I think, also just gets the, and I think even members of Parliament and government, we get this thing mixed up because it's Parliament that approves budget. And it's not necessarily Treasury. So I think that's something we as the ad hoc committee must note in our findings, that it can't always be Treasury that dictates what must happen. We are the lawmakers, and when things needs to happen, we need to give instructions and they need to follow through, because their general attitude is that they are the deciding factor on money. But that's just by the way. Let's talk a little bit about, we spoke about, and you spoke quite extensively about the political killings and political party accountability. In your view, what do you think that political parties themselves, and maybe the ANC in particular, since they lead in the number of killings in the political killings, what needs to happen? Because political parties is going to be a permanent feature, and if we're saying that this political killings task team is not something, it must have an end in sight. But political parties are not having an end in sight. Speak to us about what political parties can do in that regard, and then, okay, let's respond to that, and then I'll move to the next question.
Well, your opening statement was very correct, that political parties, the latter one of the ANC, I'm not sure about it. This element is more on a local government level. You don't find more of the MPLs being killed, or ourselves MPs, and is more on the, so which means I had somebody, I can't remember who was to say is linked to tenders. I think it was Honourable Nomvalo yesterday. I don't think so. It could be, but it's more linked on the job opportunities. You know, one thing, this document also speaks about it, Honourable Member, that we'll have to fix in South Africa, is the question of unemployment. I'm telling you, this unemployment is one of the main things that is going to take us back to the doldrums as the country if it is not fixed. This level of thing is a part of employment. I said yesterday, and I repeat, most of the councillors that are in danger are those ward councillors that are aware that particular party is assured of winning. So I know if I remove you, I definitely come in. So it's a part of the job opportunities, which means parties themselves must look at the way they elect their representatives or their councillors coming on the matter. I don't know if there can be a satisfying way to say if honorable member is a ward candidate or ward of being a councillor, everybody is satisfied. It can't be a me situation. Can help. So parties need to work on that. But I think it needs to work broadly, even systematically, to say, I don't know if it can be done that if the councillor dies, there should be no kind of by-election, because it guarantees a killer that I'm going to come in. So I think we need to find some way that you killing me doesn't guarantee you that you are coming in. I think there are 3 wards where I know where the candidates in an assured particular ward that they will win are killed for immediate by-election. So they know they're going to come in. I think political parties can work on politics of what do we do to replace the murdered councillors. But broadly, political parties through the government and the National Assembly and their assemblies work on finding the job for people rather than having the government positions the only guaranteed jobs.
When you were the Minister of Police, did you have a longer-term plan or policy intervention that was aimed at addressing the root cause of these killings rather than just the investigating, charging and arresting of those involved?
PKTT is part of it, was a part of the long planning, part of the stabilization. That you investigate, you arrest, but also work on the preventative measures, which is part of the stabilization. So that was part of it. But the second part of it was to make this killing business less lucrative. You know, I'm not going to say which party, but there are several of them. At Escort, one councillor shot his car, shot the car from inside. Unfortunately, he didn't know that there is something called forensic. So he was found that he shot the car from inside. And why he shot the car? Because he wanted to be guarded. Why to be guarded? Because he had a private security company. So was going to employ his private security company to guard him, and then the state pays him. So those are some of the things that we'll have to make sure that business and government is really cut. But most of the time, especially at the low level, is not cut. And people use the government position to grant themselves or to give themselves opportunity to milk the government as if it's a business. That's one thing. But PKTT is part of it. Again, political members working on it, creating the stable environment in terms of employment and changing the methodologies of replacing the councillors that have been killed can work.
On to tenders and procurement allegations, Minister. So yesterday, again, this was also your very animated input or testimony to the committee, is that you do not get involved in tender tender processes. Was it particularly because we were asking the question about CAT's tender, or is it just your overall engagement as when you were a minister on the process? You stayed away from the processes altogether.
I don't smell it. I don't smell the tenders.
You've never smelled it.
No.
And then there was a protected disclosure by, I'm sure you're aware of it, by a Lieutenant General who served as a Deputy National Commissioner. And this protected disclosure paints a very different picture about your involvement in the tender processes. The Lieutenant General, in his protected disclosure, said that you were involved in the procurement of interception equipment that was valued to approximately 120 million rand, and this was without the required exemption certificate from the Department of Justice and State Security. What's your response to that?
That would be Vuma. That member of the would be General Vuma. General Vuma was part of, with General Cele. I'm sure you know that they were found guilty by the court of law, having purchased the grabber that was 7 million with 47 million. Is part of that, and was found by the court of law, and they appealed, or they went to court to get appeal until they reached the final court of the Republic, and they were not allowed to continue with that. That's a person you talk about who have been criminally found guilty by the court of law. That's one. Two, that grab on that equipment speaks about the final document of it, which I think can be found if you want from the South African police, was signed. The last signature there was signed by then Commissioner Cele, after the presentation was made by the head of intelligence, General Jacobs. So there is no signature or the input of the minister buying that equipment, the interception equipment. So that is absolutely not true. And fortunately, documents there could be found if they wanted, who had a final signature in the document for purchasing that. The only problem with that process, Honorable Member, is that the law I spoke about yesterday was not followed. The agreement between these departments to buy such an equipment, and looks like after it has been bought, could not be utilized because the law was not followed to acquire it. I think that was a major problem. And then the discussions then had to be done by the ministers, because these laws, the agreement must be at the ministerial level, led by the Minister of Justice. So the discussion on that matter comes to that level of dealing with this law that says 5 departments must agree on it. So that's an issue on that situation.
Okay. So the question
Honorable
wasn't...
Nomvalo, just a moment, Honorable Matthys.
Yeah. No, thank you, Chair. I'm sorry for coming after the fact. My hand has been up, unfortunately. You were not seeing it. The General has said that part of a responsibility of the PKTT was to prevent these political killings. Now, in a historical context, General, in KZN in particular, the political killings were happening between the ANC comrades and IFP comrades. Now, is that still the case? Is it not now happening, or was it not happening during that period of the PKTT because of internal dynamics of one party, wherein you find councillors or possible potential councillors fighting for being councillors? Was it that not the situation? And if it was, what preventative measure you can put in place as a PKTT? Let's say you advise the PKTT to say, this is a problem. This is the root cause of this problem. Dynamics, party dynamics are contributing to this gouge, and to prevent it, these are the measures that you can put in place. I'm not sure if my question was clear.
I will allow him to answer the first part, and the second part he can only answer if he has recommendations, so that we don't spend, we don't become prejudicial to the member. Her time is running out at 23 minutes past 10. 23 minutes past 10, your time is running out.
So I'm answering that one.
Answer the first part of the question.
Indeed, it was so initial, Honorable Member, but it has evolved now. There are many political parties now that are there. You remember, for instance, I'm sure you'll be lucky enough to see the list of the people that have died as councillors. Almost all organizations are there. Some, it will be inter, that they are killed by this organization, killed by this organization, but also there'll be intra. But the question you ask, what happened then? There were many meetings and committees that were put between IFP and the ANC then to try to resolve this matter. But it has expanded now, went beyond these two organizations. But one other major things that has come in, the criminality has taken over, as you could find that there are hitmen now that are hired rather than political activists killing one another. So it does need both political intervention, but it also needs a lot of the security apparatus working on the matter. It's both.
Honorable Matthias, may you finish?
Yeah, I'm wrapping up. Well, I'll try
I
to.
pray that you finish uninterrupted.
We hope the ANC and MK doesn't interrupt. Okay, Minister, so you do understand that in this space that we're in, you don't need to have a signature on documents, and you not necessarily have to respond to this, to be involved or give direction or give guidance on the process of tenders. So I don't necessarily think when I read through the protected disclosure, it didn't make reference to that you signed. You were just implicated that you were involved in the process, and also you were also involved in the process of, this is what he said, the tender that was awarded to MTN, and also the tender to get the Airbus helicopters for SAPS, and that was for more than 400 million. So you say no. You were not. Let's leave the signature out, because he's not saying that you signed off on it, but he accused you of being involved in it. So you're saying that you were not at all. You didn't know. You did not give guidance. You didn't call meetings or anything.
Can I answer now?
Yes, please.
But he also says that I wanted to kill her.
Who?
That disclosure.
Okay.
She says that person who
But
wrote
that's
the-
deflecting now, Minister.
No.
Let's speak to this. Is it true or not?
But I'm saying she also claims then to closer to the president, I want to kill her.
Okay.
And she's not dead.
But it doesn't mean that. Oh, so you're saying that if you say you're going to
If I
kill
wanted to
someone, you
kill
will
her-
kill
If I
them?
wanted to kill her, she would be dead.
Oh, right
Yeah.
here in the house.
So she's not dead. So
That's a very
Honorable-
powerful statement.
indeed. because that's what she says there, is a part of the lies that are there.
So-
Honorable
so
member,
you're just saying you weren't-
is absolutely no such.
Okay. Let's talk about Mkhwanazi, because you said you like to get freebies from him because you're on pension. You're on pension now. You don't think that he has any expectations from you at all, that he's engaging?
I didn't say I want to get freebies. I didn't say that.
You
I
said you
said
liked
I said I was
freebies.
given freebies.
Oh, you
Yeah.
said you liked it too because you're a pensioner, or I
No,
misunderstood.
you say I said I want to. I didn't say I want. I was given the freebies.
okay.
Did hit my mind, and it was never said that there was an expectation from his side.
So you don't think he has, I missed that part, that he has any
It has never been
expectations?
said, and I've never thought so.
Okay. And you didn't consider that he has any expectations?
No.
He's just been nice to you. So when he comes here, because he's definitely coming here to the ad hoc committee, how would you respond if he tells us that he traveled by road to bring cash to you because he couldn't fly with the large amount of cash that he was bringing to you?
I would say never. I never received any cash from him.
Okay. About LL, Louis Lechenberg, you said he's the kingpin of Zamas. How long have you known this?
I've known the name for some time, but I've met him twice. I met him in one of the top curry restaurant in Pretoria, where I was having a dinner with my beautiful wife. At least that's one common thing we have with Julius.
Minister, you can see my chair is going to cut me on time, so you can keep your wife stories
He
and
came
dinner.
to me there, and secondly, when I was receiving the complaints from the farmers in Pretoria, I was surprised really to see him handing over the, what you call this thing you hand over if you complain, the petition. I was really surprised to see him handing over the petition on behalf of the farmers in Pretoria. That's the only times that face to face I've seen the man.
Okay, so I wasn't asking whether you've met him. I'm saying how long have you known that he's the kingpin? So was it during your term when you were the national commissioner?
It's a long time, and by the way, is one of the projects investigating him that has taken quite some time because he has been investigated by Hawks.
Oh, because that was my next question, is that when you were the national commissioner, why wasn't he arrested and charged if you knew that he was the kingpin
No,
of
I know him
Zamas?
as a minister, not as a national commissioner.
Okay. And then just the last thing is on IDEC. This feels like it's a turf war. It's pretty much similar to what we had when we had, not the Hawks, what was it? Scorpions. Because you said that they do not answer to anybody, that they just do their own thing. But that's not true, because IDEC falls under the Minister of Justice, and they report.
No.
So there is exercise, because the Constitution says that a cabinet member responsible for the administration of justice must exercise final responsibility over the prosecuting authority. So where do you see the gap? Are you saying that...
I see the gap on the police. They have a minister, but they have a watchdog, IPIT. Hawks have a minister, but they have a watchdog, the judge. Senior counsel and they have a minister of justice, but they have bodies that they look at. So I'm talking about the monitoring body, not the executing authority. I'm still asking, when there is a problem about the police, people, they knock at the door of the IPIT. They don't knock at the minister. When they have a problem with the Hawks, they knock at the door of the judge. Where do they knock when they have a problem with IDEC?
Noted. Thank you,
Okay.
former minister.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matthias, Honorable Sols.
Thank you.
Your time ends at 23 minutes past 11.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister, as a retired general, former minister, and for your sacrifice in the struggle, I want to say thank you for your service
Thanks.
and for your sacrifice.
Thanks.
I have no bias. I will ask you questions based on your submitted evidence and also the testimonies that we've heard thus far. General, when I questioned Minister Mkhunu, I used Socratic irony to test the truth in his testimony, whether he actually applied his mind before he made the decision to disband the PKTT. After putting the facts of his evidence to him that shows all the reasons that could possibly support the conclusion in his letter that the PKTT no longer added value to the police service in South Africa as a whole, he defended the PKTT on every single fact I put to him. This now showed that based on his testimony, it is not the work study or the budgetary issues that actually caused him to conclude that the PKTT must be disbanded immediately. So the question is, what truly motivated him? What's left is the allegation of General Mkhwanazi, that the reason is because the minister is protecting drug cartels. Well, thus far, there has not been substantial evidence provided to prove that allegation, especially since the main witness, General Mkhwanazi, testified that he can't say that the decision is unlawful. He can't say that for a fact. He also testified that he can't say that Minister Mkhunu and General Sibiya is actually corrupt. Therefore, we must still probe more witnesses to try and get to whether or not his allegations are true. But General, on the day, I was convinced that there is a third possibility. For now, I can only call that possibility the minister's conviction. There's something deeper that he's not telling us. There's something that he knows. I don't know yet what exactly it is. The best I could do was to tell him to stand by his conviction, even if it goes against public opinion or risks his position. I told him to put South Africans first. But today, hopefully, your testimony will assist me to get one step closer to the truth. General, you were the Minister of Police when Nathaniel Julius, a Down syndrome little boy, was brutally shot and killed by police. After 4 years, there's still no justice for Lokis. General, is the reason for this because there's corruption in the police and the judiciary?
Chairperson, good morning, Honorable Member. Chairperson, I was asked if Mkhwanazi is the first one who made the allegations against the system, not just the police. And I said he was not the first one. Actually, the first that I know was a judge, Judge Tulare, and I read the judgment of how high does it this one goes when he says even the decorum of the courts and the judicial officers cannot be saved on the 28 and mobster gangs, I'm sure, and others and all that. So it does look like, okay, and the latest discussion, I'm sure you have seen it, of the judge and the bribe of the Mulife bail. So these things are there, people talk about them. Maybe somebody needs just to come with it and say, here it is. So I would not sit here and deny that that corruption on the chain does not exist. But I would not come to you and say, here it is, as a system. But I would come and say, there are individuals. For instance, there are police officers that are in prison. There are prosecutors that are in prison. So there are individuals, but is it the system itself, or the individuals that are running? So that's what we need. That's what we need to make. But specifically, the young man that was shot and the police claimed that it was an accident. I guess I need to be helped. The matter is in court. I need to be helped on that one.
Yes, General, the initial judge fell ill, and then the whole case had to fell ill and passed away, and then the whole case had to be started over. And the last time it was heard of about the matter was late 2024. And so now it is still continuing, but there's not real solid feedback on the matter. But it is still in court, but there's no real feedback as to how far it is.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't know, except that the community of elders did raise the issue about the police in that particular area, the station commander, and that community has been at that station many a times knocking and saying, take this police away, take the commissioner away of the fundamental thing here, no matter what about you, once the community loses trust on you, you become almost useless. And whether you are corrupt or not, but when the community says you can't be part of us, and that's a problem. But the police themselves will argue to say, look, we have done our work, and it is on the second segment of the system, which are the courts now. That's why I did, and I want to do again, to say this kind of probe must help us to look at the chain, honorable member, rather than looking. And up to this point, I'm still worried that the concentration is on the first segment, which is the police, and other people are having it nice to do whatever they want to do when they're not looked at. But I don't think we're there where the communities of South Africa are really singing hallelujah about the system as a whole. Much work will have to be done. How much and how long, I don't have an answer.
General, you were also the National Minister of Police when Jocelyn Smith got missing. Is Jocelyn Smith still alive?
The last question
Is Jocelyn Smith still alive?
This is a story of the little beautiful girl. The story comes, and one goes to that place. It's somewhere in West Coast. What is that place?
Saldanha.
One goes there to cry with the parents and find out what is it. And then national commissioner, provincial commissioner, we go to see the protected parent, because the community has an issue with the parent, with mother from the very word go. From the very word go. You know, most of the time these communities can't lie. Yes, they do sometimes do wrong things as a mob. We go to see this. We go to see this mother, who is in the protection of the police. The first thing she asks is if the boyfriend is safe. Okay. You know, you've lost a child, but the first question you ask is that one. The second request you make is that if the boyfriend can come and join you so that you can be safe. Not absolutely nothing about the child. Nothing. And then when you ask, this boyfriend is not the father of the child. And then you say, there is something wrong. I said, National Commissioner, what kind of a mother that will lose a 6-year-old and ask about the boyfriend first? I said, in a very light way, we'll have to find the story. What is it here? When we went to see the father, after that we went to see the father now. And the father said, my story is that the mother knows what happens. This is the father now saying so. We went to see the grandmother, and the grandmother said knows. And then I think that was the angle from the police that followed. But I must also commend the community of that area. I've never seen such a formidable, united community around the matter. That community pushed everybody for something to happen. Then this theory of investigation, it was say the child has been kidnapped. It was about Inyanga. I'm sure you know what Inyanga is. It was about Inyanga, Muti, and all that kind of thing. So the theory of Muti, then the child should not be living once it's for that. A person was found to say so Inyanga, selling, and all that kind of thing. I don't know where police find the information, but there was a special team, honorable member, that was sent in Heathrow to search a boat, to search a ship. I think it took about 2 days searching that ship because somebody said she was put in that particular ship, but that ship was found in London or in Europe, whatever port where it was, and the child was not found. When one went there, community raised the issue again that police were a little bit like a basic approach in dealing with the matter. I said, when this community is so much active and so much involved, police can take a reverse gear on it, go to it. And indeed, there were many police searching and all. It's where we were together with your leader, working on the matter and all that. One thing that I can say, that is one matter that was worked by everybody, politicians, community, law enforcement, Abefundisi, everybody really worked on it. But the question you are asking, after all this, and the mother found guilty, I don't know if Jocelyn is still alive. I wish she would. But even if she is alive where she is, I don't think her life will be a comfortable life. Because nobody could have taken her out of the parents to give her a better life than the parents, no matter what is the social status and standard of the parents. I don't want to say I don't have a hope, but I don't have information. After the judgment and the sentencing, police said they are continuing to search. I think that should continue until we find the final understanding what happened to Jocelyn.
Thank you, General. I think I agree with you. We should continue to search and do our best. We still have hope. General, you testified that you gladly accepted to stay for free at Mr. Matlala's apartment. Please share with us, what was your experience like there?
The experience of staying there, well, it was like staying in other hotel room. No special experience. It was just a hotel room as you would stay, because it forms the part of hotel. there. So if he's not there, he's hired out as a room of the hotel. So it's just like sleeping in the hotel, like where I slept last night in the hotel.
So, General, that experience, you had it for free.
Hotel?
That experience, that's just like a normal hotel, you had it for free, no cent from you.
Yes, I did not pay.
Now, General, I put it to you that you did not have that experience for free. I put it to you that you did not have that experience for free. Someone paid for it.
Well, not that one I know.
I'll tell you who paid for it, General.
Okay.
Her name is Babita Diakoran.
Okay.
She paid for your free stay with her life.
Okay.
In your testimony, you say you know Mr. Matlala very well. When the evidence leader asked you, do you know Mr. Matlala? Your first response was, very well. Twice. What do you mean by that?
Well, I would have known him almost 3 months, and I would have spoken to him. That would be the kind of knowing the man that you have seen, you have spoken to.
But does that qualify as very well?
Well, it could not qualify very well. Maybe in the reflection, very well would have been an overarching kind of a term.
So you withdraw very well.
Very well would not stay. If I need to withdraw very well, definitely I'll take very well out.
Okay, General. You testified that you never, not once, sent text messages on WhatsApp to anyone. Is that true?
I stand by that.
Stand by that. Are you 100% sure, Honorable Minister?
I stand by that.
You testified that you only called Mr. Matlala 10 times. Is that true, or is it less or more than 10 times?
That was on a day. That was on one day, but I don't know how many overall.
Okay.
But definitely, as Honorable Member Julius, Honorable Member Malema said yesterday, 250, I would say not 250.
Not 250. You are 100% sure it is not between 200 and 250?
It definitely would not make that number.
What number would it make?
I don't know the number.
Honorable
I know the day's number.
May we please take Honorable Malim?
Minister, did you call Kat Matlala when he was in prison?
Absolutely no.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. You may proceed, Honorable Sols.
Thank you, Chair. General, have you ever asked Mr. Matlala via text to buy you a vehicle, an SUV perhaps, or maybe an armored vehicle?
Are you asking if I ever text him that?
Yes, sir.
Honorable Member, anybody who tells you that I've texted him or her is not speaking the truth. I stand by that.
You are 100% sure, Minister?
120% sure.
General, who introduced you to Mr. Matlala?
It's Mabonga. Bongani.
Sorry, Minister.
It's Bongani.
And how do you know Bongani?
I know Bongani because he's a son of Spotla, who was a taxi operator at Nongoma.
Was it the first time you met him?
Matala or Bongani?
Bongani.
No, not Bongani, but it was not the first time I've met him.
So let's use the words you withdraw just to try and gauge how you knew him. Do you know Mabonga very well?
Bongani, I was not meeting him for the first time. I know his father very well rather than I know Bongani as a son, but I know him as a son of Sputla.
Do you know the level of knowing him? Do you know that he is or was a notorious shooter? He shot people. Did you know that?
I know that he was once arrested for violent conduct, and I knew that he had a security company.
But did you know
But
that?
I didn't know that was notorious of shooting people.
Do you know about the incident at Tempo nightclub in Sandton, where he just shot in the club? Did you know
No.
about that?
The incident of shooting I know is when he was shot in a restaurant in Sandton. I don't know the incident where he was where himself shot, but I later did hear that was a shooting in a club, but I heard that after he has been killed himself.
He has been cleared.
He has been killed, yes.
There was video footage of him doing so, and he did so in January 2024, and you were still the Minister of Police at the time, Minister. And so because it went viral, it was everywhere, I'm sure that somehow you would have been informed about that, because it happened whilst you were the Minister of Police.
Well, absolutely, I have not seen that video, and I know the incidents after himself has been killed.
So knowing all of this,
Honorable Sals.
Yes, sir.
May we please take Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. I'm sorry to interrupt Honourable Source, but I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding between Mr. Cele and Mr. Source. Mr. Source is hearing cleared, and Mr. Cele is saying killed. So there's a problem, I think, just to clear that out.
Did you understand the point, Honorable Sals?
yes, I did, but I think the Minister should clarify if that's the case. Indeed, I did hear he was cleared, because I'm talking about the first instance and not the second instance where he was killed. So is Minister saying killed or cleared?
I think
But it's you who said he was cleared. Is it you?
No, no, sir.
I say I know
okay,
the.
okay, let's start here. The person in question, is the person still alive?
As we speak, the person is sadly no longer alive. The incident I'm referring to, the person was alive during the incident and after the incident. And that incident happened during the time that Minister was, the Minister said on that incident he was cleared, or whether he said killed.
Okay, who cleared the person, Minister?
The
Sorry,
person
Chair.
you talk about. The person you talk about here is Mabonga, is not Matala.
Yes.
Yeah. So it talks about the shooting in the club. I said I did not know about this incident. The incident I know is where there was a shooting and he was killed in a restaurant, Mabonga.
He was killed
He was killed.
or
He
not?
was shot and killed.
Not cleared.
No, killed.
Yes, so then my question was the one where there was video footage that went viral about a shooting in January 2024 when you were still the Minister of Police. And usually when things goes viral like that, He was dating a celebrity, so he was very well known. So there must be a way that you would have known about it. But your response, Minister, was that you, despite all those factors, you still didn't know about it.
Absolutely, I didn't know about that incident.
Okay, but you do know that he was arrested and you knew this before you met him?
That he was arrested.
Yes, for...
I knew that when I knew him. Remember, I have known him for some time because I come from KZN. I did not only know him when he was in Joburg. Yeah.
So you didn't see anything problematic with having a meeting with someone who is shooting, who's known to be shooting? And then, of course, you mentioned that you didn't know who's he bringing with you. But when you then see who he's bringing with and establish who that person is, you still felt comfortable to remain with them?
Which shooting did I know? The club shooting?
The one for arresting that you knew about?
Well, I didn't know that that shooting you talk about went viral and dating the celebrities. I don't know celebrities. I'm not a celebrity myself, so I don't know. But I know that he was arrested for violent act. You say that was a shooting that he was arrested for. I know he was arrested, but I did not know that that was for shooting. And I say I knew him long before he came to Johannesburg. And indeed, is a person that, knowing the father, I would still speak to him.
I will accept that, Minister. In your ministerial budget, your budget speech on the 11th of July, 2019, you said 119.8 million was spent on deployments for Operation Thunder in the Western Cape and 18.5 million in addition for vehicles to Western Cape anti-gang unit. Yet gang-related deaths are increasing, and you quoted Justice Daniel Tulare, who states that the evidence shows that the 28 gang has captured SEPs on the highest levels and public prosecutors. So what reason would there be for putting so much money in something like that when there's totally no change?
Okay. Well, the chair is not here. I want just to take a step back on Mabonga before I come to this one.
Yes, sir.
You say I still spoke to Mabonga when I know that he was in prison.
No, I didn't say in prison, Minister.
What did you say?
Knowing what he's doing, and then afterwards meeting Mr. Matlala and getting to know what Mr. Matlala does, and you still continued a relationship with them.
But I said, I know Mabonga that was arrested. That's what I said. And then you say, on top of that, I still met him.
Correct, but I didn't say...
Because I want to come to you to say, but many of us here, we have spoken to people that have been in prison.
Absolutely, but when
that
you...
includes you.
Indeed.
Yes.
I do speak
then it can't be a crime to speak to somebody that has been in prison.
I never said it's a crime, Minister.
Okay.
But what I am angling the question to is that your stature in society, who you are, what positions you held, you meet the persons on the first time. Then you find out and know what the questionable issues are. Me, who meets people who went to prison, come to prison, if it is questionable, I'm not going to continue a relationship with them to the point of taking favors from them and so on. So it is from that angle that I come.
No, thanks. The point I wanted to make, and I've made it, is that it's not only me that meets person that has been in prison. That's the point I wanted to make. And you and me were concur on that point. So let's come to the question.
No, Minister, we can't move from that point. We must be very clear that the issue is not meeting with people who's in prison. It is meeting with people who is actively involved in crime.
Well, that's a new statement.
But that's the point we were making. Like you said in your testimony before, context and content. I was not dealing with verbatim.
No.
But I'm saying the content and the context that you and I are talking about is not just meeting someone who has gone to prison. It's about the activity of the people, and you know about it and continue the relationship.
The statement I made here is that I know he was in prison. And the question is that you still meet that person. I say many of us here, we have met people that have been in prison.
Okay, you still continue to have a relationship with the said persons.
Well, it's no more now.
Matlala is still.
Matlala was not in prison. I don't know Matlala in prison. We are talking about Mabonga. Why do you mix them?
No, as you continue, you say you then get to discover more about Mr. Matlala. And if Mabonga was still alive, you would still have had the relationship with him.
Who are we talking about?
Both.
Oh,
And we
okay.
have been speaking about both.
No. We have spoken about Matlala.
My first-
So of late, we have been speaking about Mabonga. All the explanation of him killed, shooting and all, it has been Mabonga. So if he's still, your last question, if he's still alive, I would be still speaking to him. I don't know.
Can you remember me asking you, how did you meet Mr. Matlala?
Yes.
So we were speaking about Mr. Matlala right from the start, and then the connection, which is Mr. Mabonga.
No. It was separated. We did finish about Mr. Matlala and then we came to Mabonga.
But we spoke about both.
Well, so you say. That's fine.
Minister,
Can I go back to the question you asked of the...
please.
The question says why I would put that money to these operations.
When there's
The
clearly,
question-
when there's clearly no change in terms of gangsterism, and you quoted a judge saying what's currently happening, that gangs has infiltrated the judiciary and SEPs. So that means over 100 million invested has not changed the situation in the Western Cape. Why would you continuously justify putting so much money in that particular program?
I guess that money is even far more now, Honorable Member. I don't know if that question says, and it means, don't put money at all there and let them kill one another. Because the question said, why do you continue to put the money? Honorable Member, there is no way that we can continue to put the money and have an effort to stop that thing. I just imagine when the minister or the national commissioner goes to the community and said, look, I've put 100 million here. You continue to kill one another. I'm putting no million, kill yourself. It can't happen. We keep putting the efforts on the matter and finding the ways they can work, including putting the resources in that particular thing. And I don't think the day will come when we say because there is crime, people kill one another, we stop having an effort of stopping that.
I am definitely not suggesting not putting money in to stop people from dying. I am saying when you assess that where you've put so much money is not assisting, the situation is just getting worse, consider taking that same money and putting it into something that will actually stop the killings across the country. Let me make an example. If you would take over 130 million. Minister, you testified that to train, fully train, one member in the Special Task Force will cost an estimated 1.1 million. Now, if you take that 130 million and put it into training, specialized training,